officially here. It's the Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge, presented by Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers. $100 in Frickers bucks to the overall winner. Plus, you could win $1 million by filling out the perfect bracket. Submit your Basketball Mayhem tournament bracket at wingam.com. It's live, it's local, it's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. This has been a weird week. Between the Reds and the Buckeyes, you're only getting like a couple hours of us this week, which is actually probably a good thing. I don't think many people have been complaining, to be quite honest with you. But we come at you live here after Ohio State just narrowly escaped an overtime win against Purdue. They advanced to the semifinals where they will await that team up north. Chris Holtmann against Juwan Howard, Ohio State against Michigan. Pretty much, I want to say a 1 seed is on the line. It's not really on the line for Michigan. Michigan's a lock as a 1 seed. Ohio State still has a chance to become a 1 seed. They're going to have Michigan in the semifinals. If they can move past Michigan, then that's going to set up a finals matchup with most likely, Illinois. And if not Illinois, it could be Iowa. And if Illinois goes down and Ohio State wins these last two, I think Ohio State then takes that 1 seed. It's just a crazy, weird finish for the Buckeyes because they don't look in sync. They don't look very locked in. I think they would be, if they did get the 1 seed, Kev, let's say they do beat Michigan tomorrow, this would probably be one of the most shaky 1 seeds in the history of college basketball if that's the case, because they would most likely be getting a 1 seed for their full body of work versus how they are playing heading into the tournament. But they narrowly escaped. I mean, look, you come away with an overtime win in March. I don't care if it's the conference tournament or NCAA tournament. That was a huge win for Ohio State today. They've now won 2 straight after losing 4 straight to close out the regular season. It was not pretty. It was ugly. The Buckeyes have a habit of games that are in their hands, that they are in control of. They have a habit of making those games ugly. They won ugly yesterday. They won very ugly today. I have people on Twitter going at me telling me, oh, yeah, Ohio State looks horrible in crunch time. They just won in overtime. I'm like, really? You're going to take those 5 minutes? 5 minutes is going to erase. Those 5 minutes shouldn't even have existed. If Ohio State knew how to close out games, that last 5 minutes doesn't exist. So I don't want to hear any of that. I'm an Ohio State fan. I'm pulling for Ohio State. I want them to get that 1 seed. But, man, if there was ever a time to bet on the 16 versus 1, if Ohio State does get that 1 seed, I would bet on it this year, and as well as the 15 and the 2 as far as that goes. But just, again, Ohio State 87, Purdue 78. Kyle Young goes down early in the second half after an 18-point first half, unstoppable. They're a different team with him on the floor. Yeah. And if they don't have him on the floor tomorrow against Michigan, if they don't have him on the floor in the NCAA tournament, Chris Holtmann started to kind of go into it, then he kind of backed out a little bit. I'm concerned. This Buckeye team is not the same without him. And you'll never look at him and say, oh, man, he's their best player, but he is their MVP. He is their most valuable player because they're not the same team when he's not on the floor.
He's the toughest player on the team. Plain and simple. He brings that energy. He brings that toughness. He goes down there and rebounds. And that's one of my sticky points with Ohio State's basketball team is they don't rebound the ball very well. And especially without him, he also had, like you said, 18 points in the first half. If these games were simply played in the first half, Ohio State will have no trouble. The thing is, they got to play 2 halves, and they haven't been playing 2 good halves of basketball lately.
Why? I think that's your computer or is mine. I'm not really sure.
That was mine.
Okay. So Kyle Young, and this according to Adam Jardy, who we had on the show, he's with the Columbus Dispatch. He joined us a few weeks ago. In fact, I already talked to him earlier. He's going to hop on with us next week. But he's saying that right now Kyle Young is being checked out for a possible concussion issue. That would be his second as of late. That could be a big deal. That could be a big deal when it's all said and done. But regardless, we can be negative about it. But they did just come away. I mean, look, Purdue's the number. They finished 4th in the Big Ten, ahead of Ohio State. Okay, that's a good basketball team. You were without
Ohio State twice earlier this season.
A team that beat you twice, a team that are going up against a very good quality opponent. You didn't have Kyle Young out there on the floor. You were missing a lot of your key guys. I thought it was a gutsy performance. And by the way, that's March. I mean, it's win in advance. And I told you today, we're sitting here watching the game in the studio, and I was like, yesterday's game was good. It was okay. It still bothered me. But today felt like an NCAA tournament game. And now I'm jacked. Now I'm juiced. I'm ready to go. I'm pumped for March Madness. I can't tell you how excited I am for this come selection Sunday. Ohio State plays tomorrow. 1 o'clock will be the tip-off as they go head-to-head, of course, with Michigan. And it's the semis. So the winner of that will advance to the finals. Of course, we just saw Ohio State beat a team that beat them twice throughout the year. Michigan got the better of Ohio State in one of the best college basketball games of the season just a few weeks ago. This would be a big time win if Ohio State can get it, because again, they're still playing for a 1 seed. Other news today out of college basketball, yesterday was about Duke. Duke had a positive test in their program. Their season comes to a complete end. They didn't get to advance in the ACC tourney. They don't get a chance to kind of see if they can still remain on the bubble and punch their ticket to March Madness. Today we saw Kansas have a positive test within their program. And then Virginia. So Virginia and Georgia Tech, that game got canceled earlier today. And now Virginia has moved on to the ACC title game, where they'll await the winner between North Carolina and Florida State. Yep. But this goes back to what we talked about yesterday. If I'm Michigan, I'm locked in at 1. Nothing. Losing will not change that. Winning will not change that. Why risk it? Why risk an Ohio State positive test during your game, or a positive test for you during the game, which again, that's inevitable at that point if that happens? I just wouldn't risk it if I'm Michigan, Kev. I would give zero fault to any team that came out that is a 1 or a 2 seed as far as that's a lock. I mean, if I'm Ohio State, Michigan, I say, you know what? I think I'm good. Ohio State would rather be a 2 seed, and they have a chance to be a 1. But Ohio State would rather actually play in the NCAA tournament as a 2 seed than risk getting a 1 seed and have Michigan test positive and then them have to be out and miss it because of contact tracing. My biggest concern is that. I wish we weren't doing these. They're fun. I've enjoyed today. I've enjoyed this week. I just don't think these games are necessary, and I do believe we're trying to trying to push a square peg in a round hole. That's my concern. I hope the Big Ten and the major conferences and everyone stays safe, but I hope that we can get through these next couple of days without another top-tier team really being impacted, because Duke's a big name, Kansas is a big name, but we're able to overlook it. But, man, if a Michigan or a Baylor or an Ohio State or a 2 seed goes down, now that's where you start questioning the integrity of the competition heading into the NCAA tournament. That's where I would have a concern, big picture.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I totally understand where you're coming from. I just look at it as this could be a slippery slope going forward. I understand that I'm the biggest advocate of being safe and questioning if these games should be even played in the first place, or they should be played inside a bubble, like a quarantine situation for 2 weeks and then go into a bubble and play it. But, they're forcing the peg into a round hole, like you said. But I worry about if teams start to do that this year, what happens next year when they got a number 1 seed locked up and they don't play in the Big Ten tournament or the ACC tournament? Then what? Then are you running from competition? Are you saying it's only cool for this year? Because I do believe if you start doing it now in a COVID year where you do have a valid excuse, teams will find some type of way to validate them stepping out of a big time tournament next year, just so they can only compete in the March Madness so they can try to win that elusive championship.
Yeah, but we're at the point now where, this is COVID related. This isn't them. Michigan's not afraid of Ohio State. That's what I mean by this is Michigan, if they opted out, I wouldn't blame them, because they're not ducking anybody. They're ducking the virus. They're ducking coronavirus. They're ducking that, because if it's not like, oh man, if we play Ohio State and lose, that means we're eliminated from the tournament and we don't have a chance. They beat Ohio State tomorrow. It's just another big win in the future coach of the year, in Juwan Howard's, resume. And if they lose, oh, well, they're still a 1 seed. That's what I mean by that, where I do think that there are certain instances that it makes sense for. But again, we've been letting players and coaches and everyone else opt out left and right since this pandemic started a year ago. I don't know why now we would all of a sudden get uncomfortable with that, especially when we've had players opt out in the middle of the year. We had Duke, play a couple games in non-conference and then say, we're opting out of non-conference. We're just not going to play. So we've had that all season. I know what you're saying about setting the precedent for moving forward, but I'm not saying the virus won't be here next year. I think we're always going to have the fear of that happening. I still think there's going to be situations where it pops up, even with vaccines and masks and everything else. But I don't think next year we're going to be hearing that of, man, we're opting out because we're afraid of the virus. But this year the virus is real and it's knocked out already big programs. And I just think that it's not worth it if you are Michigan and others. You're basically playing for nothing. Conference championship means something on a normal year, but is it worth, cutting off your nose to spite your face? Is it worth continuing to play for a conference championship that in essence does nothing for you? You don't hang up conference championship banners, although there's room from all the banners that have been taken down at Michigan. There's plenty of room. But no, you're not hanging up conference tournament banners. You're not.
They don't?
No.
Really? Mm-mm. Well, why not?
Because all about NCAA. At that level, it's NCAA tournament.
No, they definitely got Big Ten championship banners.
Ohio State doesn't.
Of course they do. I got to check my phone. That's crazy if they don't.
It would be NCAA tournament banners, but not conference tournament banners.
I think winning your conference is more important than just going to the tournament. If you go to the tournament,
if you are Wright State or UD or the smaller schools, yeah, but not if you're Ohio State, that you're going to make it whether you win your conference tournament or not. I mean, look how crazy Ohio State's a 5 seed.
Are you sure about that, Kenner?
I'm 98% positive.
I'm almost
that they do not hang up conference tournament banners in their, in their arena.
I think they hang up one banner and then they just keep adding years to it. I'm almost positive.
But you said banners is plural, so you could bite me. How about that? But no, I don't even know about that. Someone help us out.
I'm almost positive because I was just there. No, well, not just there. I was there maybe like 2-3 years ago when Syracuse played Ohio State and they retired Thad Matta's, put his name in the rafters and everything like that. I'm about to dig that video up.
We're going to have to find it. All I'm saying, and by the way, if they do that, I think that's loserish. Who cares if you win your conference tournament? It's all about tournaments. You think that Juwan Howard was hired to replace Beeline? Okay, man, I don't care about the NCAA tournament. Screw Final Fours. Screw that. There's a lot of accomplishments that people. We would make fun of people who put up, regular season. So is winning the regular season. How come we don't hang those up there?
That's what I'm saying. If
that doesn't happen. They don't do that.
Yes, they do. If you hang up a regular season, I think winning the regular season title in the Big Ten and or the conference tournament in the Big Ten trumps going to the tournament unless you make a run to the Final Four. If you go one and done, if you're the 2 seed and you lose to the 15, you really about to be like, yeah, remember back in 2005 where we lost to Backyard State? No, you're going to be like, man, remember that double overtime victory we had over Wisconsin and we won the Big Ten regular season title?
At the shot, there's the Final Four banners. There's all that. But there's not Big Ten championship banners.
Man, you're discrediting the Big Ten, man.
I'm not. I'm discrediting all conference. I mean, for instance, for mid-majors, that goes hand in hand. You win your conference tournament, you make the NCAA tournament, boom, you're getting those little things hung up if you're a mid-major team. But to the Big Ten, come on. All right, we got to step away for a few moments. The Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers. Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce family law firm of the Miami Valley area with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. We appreciate our sponsorship or our partnership with them as they officially sponsor the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash. Just a reminder, by the way, now that we are officially off and rolling, Selection Sunday is coming up this Sunday, and it doesn't hurt to go to wingam.com right now and get registered for the Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge presented by Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers. $100 in Frickers bucks goes to the tournament bracket winner, the overall winner. Plus, if you fill out the perfect bracket, you win $1 million. How about that?
Big money, bank, Hank.
So head to wingam.com, register for the Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge presented by Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers, and again, be a part of all the bracket challenge fun. We're going to go over our picks on Monday following Selection Sunday, so I'm pretty jacked and stoked about that. And will Ohio State be a 1 or a 2 seed, or will they, pack their bags, go home, and wait for the unveiling of their number 5 banner in the Big Ten? I mean, or the semifinal appearance in the Big Ten. I mean, Kev's working hard to find that over there. We'll be back in a moment. More of the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers when we come back.
Listen, stream, watch. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, right here on Dayton's ESPN Radio, 1410 Wing AM. ESPN 1410 Wing AM weather.
This afternoon will be partly cloudy, a high near 60. Tonight's going to be mostly cloudy, a low around 32. And tomorrow will be partly cloudy, a high near 55. I'm Pete Spivak for 1410 ESPN Radio.
Weather is brought to you by Cullet Propane. 98% of their customers recommend Cullet. If you wouldn't recommend your current supplier, check them out at culletpropane.com.
Switch to T-Mobile for Business and get up to 90 days of service free via virtual rebate on your business plan. You get a great deal, the largest 5G network, and first-class benefits like Microsoft 365 on us. It's better for business and only with T-Mobile for Business. Limited time offer. Stop in store for details. Plus taxes and fees for some plans. Virtual Express MasterCard within 8 weeks of receipt of valid submission. Complete port within 60 days. See T-Mobile.com for 5G devices, coverage, and plan details.
Frickers is ready with Frickin' Madness. Frickers' new mobile app allows you to order online and score points for free food and loyalty visits. Frickers is ready for you to catch all the action of the march to the national championship. Dine in and win with Frickers Chicken Wings, ice cold beer, and all of the games. Score big by downloading Frickers' new app and receive loyalty points, free food, and order online. Your home for fun food, sports, and spirits, Frickers.
Hi, my name is Brian Sommers, and I'm an attorney with Kirkland and Sommers. We are a law firm dedicated to divorce and family law. We have 2 locations serving Miami Valley, one near Austin Landing and the other in Troy. Remember, we're not part-time divorce and family lawyers. We're full-time here for you.
Kirkland and Sommers, trusted and experienced, a family law practice dedicated to serving you. Visit them online at kirklandandsommers.com. That's Sommers with an O, kirklandandsommers.com.
Cordell Transportation is now hiring Class A CDL drivers. $5,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $5,000 sign-on bonus. Home daily dedicated lanes, no-touch freight. Apply today at CordellTransportation.com. Cordell Transportation, driven to succeed.
The Big Hoopla is grateful for our many regional sponsors and is happy to announce the Big Hoopla Scholarship Program this year, supporting active duty military families and their students in grades K through 12, including Blue and Gold Star families, and applying for one of 10 $1,000 scholarships to be used towards their students' educational needs this year. Visit DaytonHoopla.com for more information and to apply. Dayton is the epicenter of college basketball, and we look forward to the First Four's return in 2022. Hashtag the road starts here.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Lance Roofing and Siding would like to remind you, daylight saving time begins this Saturday night at 2 a.m. It's time to spring forward an hour. A friendly reminder from your friends at Lance Roofing and Siding. Call for a free estimate on your roof before spring showers hit. Online at lanceroofing.com.
Procter & Gamble, the company behind some of your favorite brands like Tide and Charmin and Pampers, is now hiring entry-level technicians at the Dayton Distribution Center. P&G is offering a competitive pay rate of $16.44 per hour for 8 and 12-hour rotating shifts, plus an additional per-hour rotating shift incentive. P&G offers a comprehensive benefit package on day one, including medical, dental, and 401k. For more information, visit pgcareers.com. Search for Dayton and apply today. Procter & Gamble is an equal opportunity employer.
Whenever you're feeling good and hungry, it's Skyline time. Gather together with friends and family. It's Skyline time.
My go-to order at Skyline is 3 cheese conies all the way. You can't beat that combination of flavors. When I get that coney craving, I know it's Skyline time.
Skyline.
Save today on your next project with 11% off everything now at Menards. Lower your home's energy costs with Owens Corning panel insulation. It's perfect for insulating basement walls or a new garage floor. Right now, get 11% off all Owens Corning insulation. Start saving with 11% off everything now at Menards. Good through Saturday, March 13th. Savings are a mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app. Discover and enjoy your favorite music, news, and talk radio from live stations across the country. Listen anywhere on all mobile and home devices with the radio.com app.
Hi, this is Eddie Sorrell, Service Manager, Germain Honda of Beaver Creek. When you need service, we're here Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays from 6 to 8 and Saturdays from 7 to 5. We proudly offer a state-of-the-art facility with factory-trained technicians, clean waiting room, and service department. Loaner cars are available during service and free alignment checks with any service. Be sure to stop in and ask for our $39.95 oil change special. Germain Honda of Beaver Creek, State Route 35, east of 675, between Xenia and Beaver Creek.
If you're driving less, you could be saving more on car insurance. Save money with pay-per-mile insurance from Allstate. Call a local Allstate agent and get a quote.
He's a former Buckeyes great and now a college football Hall of Famer. And don't forget about his 13 years of NFL experience playing for the Eagles, Dolphins, Jets, and the New England Patriots. He's Dayton's own Keith Byers. Hang out with him every Monday at noon on The Keith Byers Show, presented by Lee's Famous Recipe Chicken. On Twitter, make sure to give us a follow. Search 1410 Kinner for Justin Kinner on Twitter. That's 1410 KINNER. And ESPN Dayton for the station Twitter handle.
All right, everybody, we welcome you back. 87-78, the final in overtime. The Ohio State Buckeyes hold off the Purdue Boilermakers in the Big Ten Tournament quarterfinals. The Ohio State Buckeyes have advanced to the Big Ten Tournament semifinals tomorrow, 1 o'clock. It'll be Ohio State and Michigan going head-to-head with the chance to get to the Big Ten title game, although with the winner between Illinois and Iowa. Right? Actually, no, hold up. Iowa plays Wisconsin still, so that hasn't been finalized. But that's the Final Four I want in the Big Ten as far as that goes. So we'll see. But big game for Ohio State again. E.J. Liddell again, 17 points. Washington had 20. You look at Kyle Young, who had 18, all 18 of those coming in the first half, by the way, 4 or 5 from behind the three-point line. Again, the biggest concern for Ohio State moving forward is you don't know the status of Kyle Young. He's being observed right now in the concussion protocol. So I think it's unlikely he plays tomorrow. And I think that for what we're talking about here, even if he is likely to go tomorrow, you really want that 1 seed if you're Ohio State. I get it, but there's nothing wrong with the 2 seed.
Right.
And is your desire to get that 1 seed that big, that high that you would risk Kyle Young's health for the NCAA tournament? Because I think it's more important to have him for the NCAA tournament than it is to win the Big Ten the Big Ten Conference tournament. Now, you were working hard. You were going all Nash CSI. So we were discussing, do they actually hang Big Ten championship banners in this arenas? I say they don't. They do? What is that?
They do.
Well, that's a loser thing to hang up.
Because one side is full of the men's stuff and the other side is full of the women's championships as well.
So there's that. But they cheat, though. They put one banner up and then just put all the dates up. Actually, that's not cheating. That's easy to do. You just throw it up there.
Economics,
man. But no, we're not, unveiling banners. We're not doing banner ceremonies. I mean, this is some guy on a big old ladder. I'm just saying.
Make it work for yourself.
It's not working for nothing. I'm just telling Kenner ain't wrong on nothing. Even when he's wrong, he's not. So, I got into it earlier today, because it's just what I do. Xavier, who's a bubble team, they were looking to do, and this is what I don't understand. The NCAA nixed this for Xavier. And it doesn't make any sense. Xavier, who's a bubble team, was like, you know what? We've already been knocked out of our conference tournament. We're a bubble team. We have some days here. They were looking for opponents. They were looking for another game or two to potentially bolster their resume. And the NCAA came out and said, no, can't do that. And I want to know why. Because one of the most unique things about this past college football season was the aspect of, remember, was it Tulane? No, who was it?
Coastal Carolina
and BYU. They both, because of COVID, did not have opponents that one weekend, or one just was naturally off. The other one was, I can't remember the whole setup, but the bottom line is that ended up that matchup, one of the best college football matchups of the season, happened because those two teams late in the season didn't have a game on that Saturday due to COVID and other outside things happening. They came together, made a game happen. There was all this talk of Cincinnati and BYU. Maybe they should play throughout the year. Cincinnati, should they try and get a Power 5 opponent late in the season? I think Cincinnati played one time on November 19th and didn't play again until mid-December, until the last regular season. It was crazy. So I just don't get why the NCAA didn't let basketball do what football did. I have no problem if Xavier wants to do that. But right away, people are like, they need to play Dayton. They need to play Dayton. Dayton will help them get there. So, of course, you know me. Technically, based on the evaluation of the NCAA tournament resumes, the net rankings matter. So I said, and of course, I just angered so many people because outside of me breathing, me saying anything pro-Wright State just ticks people off like you wouldn't believe. Technically, if Xavier did get the green light to schedule a game, the opponent that would actually help them out more would be Wright State. Wright State would actually have helped them more than playing UD. People lost their minds. And the thing is, it's not an opinion. It's a fact. The net rankings are used in decipher, basically breaking down resumes. So if you're going to play a team from this city 13 miles apart, wouldn't you pick the one that actually is going to help you resume-wise? Wright State ranked higher than the Dayton Flyers. Yes, the precious mighty Flyers with the $500 million arena. I think you could fly personal jets in there. I mean, everyone gets their own personal butler. I mean, it is freaking insane. I think it's the best arena in the history of all arenas. Nothing even comes close. I think there's even like a roller coaster in the back. I mean, it's just like Universal on steroids is this arena. It's so fantastic. But none of that means anything because Wright State, little old Wright State, no one cares about Wright State. It's this city is Dayton, Dayton Flyers. It's Dayton. I know that. But the Wright State's ranked higher than the almighty movie theater in our arena, roller coaster in the back. Get your own personal butler at your seat in the 400 section UD arena. All right, the Wright State Raiders, poor old Wright State, they're ranked higher than that. So it started World War III. I mean, you would have thought I made a Jesus joke in church. I mean, that's where it really went. It was a little disappointing. I couldn't believe, this wasn't an opinion. It was a fact. But I did get excited because I thought that, hey, with Xavier being right there, whether it was UD or Wright State or whoever, but they would have had plenty of opponents to pick from if they were looking for that. But yes, that but I thought that was that got me through my day because, we don't go on at 3. I'm like, what am I going to do? I'll just mess with people on social media for the day.
I'm not with that. I'm not with them getting the extra game. Your conference tournament is your opportunity to make your resume better. And since you lost, you're out. You're out of your tournament. Now, the committee will determine if you get into March Madness or not. But, Wright State wasn't trying to dial up people. They took their medicine like a man and they lost and they're out. That's just how it goes. You had your opportunity to bolster your resume during your conference tournament. Wright State had a chance to punch their ticket in their conference tournament. They didn't. You're out. So you don't get makeups. You don't get do-overs because you lost your game. You didn't lose it because of COVID. You lost it on the court.
But is there a deadline to put games on the schedule? I guess is what I'm curious about. I mean, there is a rule because the NCAA, and I need to go read the article, but the NCAA said due to the NCAA rules, they couldn't. But I'm curious, is there a deadline that you have to have X amount of games scheduled by this date?
That's a good question.
Because throughout the year, remember when the Dayton Flyers put the top 25 matchup of Pepperdine or Bellarmine or whatever the hell they are, which, by the way, they won their damn conference. I remember when Northern Kentucky became D1 for the first year. They won the whole damn thing. Like, they won the conference tournament. Like, they went to the NCAA tournament. In fact, their very first year D1 eligible, or very first year in D1 that they were eligible for the NCAA tournament, they ended up drawing Kentucky in the first round, and they played Kentucky after the Dayton Flyers lost to Wichita State that year. That was Archie Miller and Scoochie Smith and all their last year here. But it was just funny because all the smack I talked about, I mean, technically the Flyers would have had a conference champion, hang up the banner. They would have had a conference champion on their schedule. So how about that? But nonetheless, no, I am curious, what was that rule? I'll have to go find that. But if they wanted to add a game, more power to them. We saw it in football. In basketball, we saw games be moved around all the time. Like, games were being added left and right. So I just thought that was strange. Kind of a weird thing to not let them do it. It is what it is, though. I just thought that would have been an interesting wrinkle. And it's easy to do now because you don't have fans. Yeah. Fans aren't at games. So it's not like, before to where, man, we don't want to add a game that we didn't have time to promote and get tickets for. Now it's just like, well, we just need these games. Who cares? We can play at the local YMCA. It doesn't really matter where these games are held at. We just need to get this game in. So it is what it is. But I'm Justin Kinner. He's Kev Nash. It's the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. But yes, conference championship weekend wrapping up this weekend, Selection Sunday on Sunday. Any surprises there? What team? Again, no, Wright State's not in it. The Dayton Flyers aren't in it. Obviously, it's Ohio State that I'm pulling for your cues. How
we lost at the buzzer yesterday to Virginia, who tested positive for COVID. And I was just reading an article about my squad there. They're doing their tests for COVID now because, you have to have like 7 in a row, whatever, to enter the bubble. And in Indianapolis for March Madness, but they're also on the bubble. So, Cuse is a bubble team, so we'll find out if they make it in on Sunday.
They should get Xavier. They should schedule Xavier. We'll play-in game, right?
Young Boeheim was balling the other day, though. He dropped 31, but they lost, so it doesn't matter anymore, man. But, March Madness, I love this time of year, man. It's just such a weird year, just seeing not only that, Sparty is down, Duke is down, Kentucky is down, but, now you got teams can't play in their conference tournament like Kansas and Virginia because of COVID. So it's just been an odd year, man. So I'm just looking for anything to hang my hat on to enjoy these sports, because obviously we wish everybody that's battling with COVID nothing but the best wishes and hope you get through it safely. But it affects your sports. So then, I'm at home all the time, even though I know a lot of people are going out now and everything like that. We got our vaccine on the way. Supposedly we're going to be able to get it by May and everything like that. But, I'm still a house body by nature. So I turn to my sports, and when you get tons of cancellations in college basketball in the time of year that matters the most, it really sucks, man, because you think about it, like what's going on with Virginia and Kansas and everything like that. Those are teams that are expected to make a run into the tournament. So what happens? The team that they play just automatically advances. Like, yo, man, like it's just something we're all gonna have to deal with.
Yeah, what if it happens to a 1 seed and the 16 seed ends up getting they get that David versus Goliath victory? Is that what we're gonna call it? I mean,
Virginia already lost though. Who did they lose to? NBC State or something like that?
Yeah, just recently, wasn't that
2 years? The year before they won the national championship. They were a 1 seed. They lost to a 16. The next year they won the national championship. This past year there was no March Madness. Now we're back again.
Archie Miller, Indiana. They lost against a $10 million buyout. Ooh. Saw a graphic the other day that said, who would the ideal new coach be at Indiana? Brad Stevens got brought up. I'm like, I would like that. Imagine the Big Ten coaching is just unbelievable when you look at, the ACC is actually pretty damn loaded too, especially back when they did have, Rick Pitino in there with Roy Williams and with Coach K. But if you look at the Big Ten, if that happens, it's a long shot if that happens. But if that happens, I mean, that would be pretty damn insane when you got Chris Holtman in there, you got Juwan Howard in there. I mean, there's just good coaches all over the damn place. But that would be something. But Archie Miller not getting it done.
$10 million, huh?
Yep.
$10 million. Hey, legend at the bank.
Clearly, things didn't work out for him. I mean, he's not fired yet. But last I checked, the Flyers and Indiana both haven't been back to the NCAA tournament since Archie Miller left the Flyers. So I'm just saying,
young technicalities. They were in there last year.
No, because I saw Flyer fans on Facebook and Twitter today say, "Man, Archie sucks. He hasn't made it to the NCAA tournament since he got there." Well, I said, okay. So does last year count? Because Indiana was going to the NCAA tournament last year. So technically, yes, he's made it to the NCAA. No, he hasn't. He's trash. Archie's horrible. Blah blah blah. I'm like, so that means Anthony Grant didn't take his team to the NCAA. They're the number 3 team in the country. Okay, cool. You were the number 3 team in the country that did not play in the NCAA tournament. There. The Flyers haven't danced in March. Indiana hasn't danced in March ever since Archie Miller left UD. I'm just saying. But the mighty old Wright State Raiders, who don't have a roller coaster in their arena, who don't have, I'm just saying, they don't have a movie theater. You don't have a personal butler that comes to your seat. I'm just saying. They have an NCAA tournament appearance in the last 5 years.
Go Raiders.
But they have not been number 3 in the country.
I'm so mad about that, man. I'm so mad. I'm still mad about that.
I know. I would love a movie theater in that. Oh, that thing lost. Yeah. I'm with you. Folks, have a great weekend. Selection Sunday on Sunday. One more time, make sure you head to wingam.com and get registered for the Basketball Mayhem Bracket Challenge. It's presented by Orion Sports Medicine and Frickers. So make sure you head to wingam.com right now and get that bracket registered. Obviously, you can't fill it out right now until after Selection Sunday. But starting Sunday night after the teams are selected and picked, you'll be able to get your pick selected, and a big old contest we're going to be having here. $100 in Frickers Bucks will be awarded to the tournament bracket winner, and then plus if you fill out the perfect bracket, you could have a chance to win $1 million. How cool is that? So head to wingam.com, wingam.com, and get registered ahead of time. That way the second Sunday, Selection Sunday, the brackets are announced, you can get your picks in and go from there. But have a great weekend. We'll do this again on Monday. We're back to normal on Monday. 3 to 6. So until Monday, this has been the Justin Kinner Show with Kev Nash, presented by Kirkland and Sommers, the divorce and family law firm of the Miami Valley area with 5 attorneys to meet your needs. Have a great weekend.